This is the BGG climbers for the week ending in 4/28, 2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander. I'll include links in the description to the Geeklist, as well as the subscription list in case you want to subscribe to it or take a look at older lists. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos. Let's see this week. There's a lot of interesting stuff I've seen. So one thing is, I haven't looked at the fallers in a few weeks. I want to take a look at these because it looks like some of these may have peaked or come close to peaking. One of them is the crew for the Quest for Planet 9, which I'm sure most of you have played it, but I highly recommend trying this game out. It is really an amazing game that I think really anyone can play. Pandemic Legacy Season 2 looks like it's peaked at 35. This is a game I haven't had a chance to play yet. It is on my list. I do want to try it out because of some of the unique things it does. But as you can see, the Bayesian average is coming down along with the average. So I don't think this one is climbing anymore. Clank, a deck building adventure, has also probably peaked. This thing's been out for a very long time. I think most people like the legacy version of Clank anyway, better. And I don't see this one continuing its climb up. It's got a huge number of ratings as a very popular game. The Quacks of Quedlinburg. So this one probably has also peaked. Again, its Bayesian average is kind of stagnated. Its average is staying about the same. And with all the new hotness coming out, I just don't see this one climbing much more. Around mid-60s is pretty impressive. It's an incredible game. And Mechs vs. Minions. So this one is an incredible production value. I think the price on it's actually gone up. It used to be $85, I think, which is insane for the production value of this game. And it's a really fun game. I think a lot of people enjoy it. I actually got it in my Secret Santa one year. So on the games climbing the list, number 23, Sleeping Gods. This game we haven't seen in a while. Its rating has come down a little bit since it was last on the list, but it's still doing very well. I think this is going to hit the top 100 eventually. And we've been looking at Lost Ruins of Arnak. This one is probably 2 to 3 weeks away from hitting the top 100. It's doing really well. I think it maybe, if it continues at this rate, maybe it will actually get above the top 50. Oath. So Oath looks like it's probably headed into the top 100, assuming enough people buy it and review it. I don't know if it's going to be available outside the Kickstarter. Probably it will be, but it is kind of an expensive game. Much more expensive than Root. And there was actually, Marvel United. So Marvel United is actually continuing its climb. I think a lot of people from the Kickstarter have gotten this game. I'm not willing to say yet that this is going to be in the top 100, but it looks fairly likely. It's been doing pretty well in the new ratings, and its average has been climbing. And I think there's another Kickstarter. I don't know if it's an expansion or a standalone game. So that may propel this higher, or maybe the second version of it will go up the list faster. So that's interesting. So number 10, Mercado de Las Boas. So we've talked about this one last week. I actually did a video on this, which was a playthrough. I think it's a solid lightweight medium lightweight game from Vital Lacerda and co-designer. The ratings aren't too impressive for a Lacerda game. I think it's partially that most people that are playing Lacerda games are playing a heavier game. This just isn't that. So maybe some people were a little bit underwhelmed with that. I think it's a good game for what it is. I don't think that I was disappointed at all in it. I think it was actually pretty solid if you know what you're getting into with this. So that's Mercado de Las Boas. Number 9, Venice. So this, I think, was a Kickstarter, and it has not been starting out very well. But let's take a look at it. So this one, it's David Turkey and Andrei Novak. And it's Kickstarter crowdfunding. Euro Silly. So this one was interesting. Did I look at this one? Oh yeah, I looked at this one. And I passed on it. I mean, I tend to not really back many Kickstarters a year. I try to limit it to no more than 6. So I'm pretty judicious in my Kickstarter backing. Actually, I think last year I was way under 6. I didn't see 6 that really said this is a must back. I do like these components. I think the photos. I don't know. Whoever took this photo could have done a little bit better job. It's a little bit out of focus. Maybe it was taken with a cell phone instead of an SLR. But let's see here. Let's see what people are saying on this game, because I'm kind of interested. Yeah. Game broke down horribly. Okay. Publisher component decisions did not work with gameplay and missed opportunity. Enormous ergonomic issues, almost unplayable with more than 3 players. Gondolas. Shelf of shame. Really bad and not ergonomic materials. A lot of errors in the setting. Interesting. So I think that this was kind of maybe a poor implementation of the game from the comments. It's hard to say, but given the ratings here, I don't think this is going very well. To start out with mediocre ratings and your first backer's rating in a 7 is not looking good for the future of this game, but we'll see. Maybe a retail release will propel it up. So that's number 9, Venice. Number 8 is Pax Viking. So we looked at this one, I think, last week. This is like the latest PAX game from Ion or Sierra Madre Games. It's doing okay. I don't see this one hitting the top 100 either, just like Venice. I think that, outside of PAX Premiere, the PAX series of games just has had limited appeal. It's a heavier game, typically longer playtimes, although I think this one's fairly short for a PAX game. And I just think it only appeals to a very select group of gamers. So that is number 8, Pax Viking. Number 7, Comet Blood and Sand. So this is the second week. I think this one is on the list. Maybe it was 2 weeks. Maybe it was, I think it was last week. This is essentially the reprint of Comet, or Comet Second Edition, with a bunch of fixes to the game, which I think Comet itself is an amazing game. I didn't back this because one of my friends backed it, and I just didn't see a reason to keep it in my collection as the first edition just because of all the improvements here. They did a smart thing. They redid the first edition rules and had people playtest it with the first edition, and then kind of brought in this new version of the game on Kickstarter with some really good artwork, some improvements. I don't think the Cthulhu pack ever happened, but maybe it did. I don't know. And a bigger figurines, which is awesome. I think that, the monster, the summoning of the monsters in Comet was one of the coolest things of the game, and having some more unique monsters that you could summon and bring along with your armies would be great. I think this is just an amazing idea for a Euro war game. Yeah, I guess it's ranked fairly highly in war and strategy. I think this is going to do really well. And so that is number 7. Probably this one is going to hit the top 100. I don't see how it doesn't, assuming they do a retail release on this. Number 6, Zombicide Second Edition. So we talked about this one before. I think this is probably heading in the top 100 as well. Zombicide has a huge following. It's done by CMON. This is an improved version of Zombicide, which kind of makes me regret buying Zombicide from someone just to paint. I think I even have another, like the Zombicide Green Horde or Black Plague as well, that I planned on painting, but I never got around to. But I do think this one is bound to do well. It has some rule improvements, probably some streamlined nature in the rules, which I think will only help propel it to higher ratings. And of course, the CMON minis and clout. So it's number 6, Zombicide Second Edition. Number 5, Lions of Lydia. So this is interesting. Is this on Kickstarter right now? I don't think I remember seeing this one. So this is crowdfunding Kickstarter. Maybe I do remember this. So this is pool building, in-game bonuses, variable setup, worker placement. Got kind of a weird cover. She looks kind of evil, or like she's kind of out to get something. Got some decent meeples. I don't know. The look isn't amazing. It's a smaller box game. I guess she kind of looks like a trade, like she's trading for something, or maybe trying to like steal something from you. the size of the game is probably a little bit small. Maybe people are a little bit disappointed in that. Let's see what the comments say. Okay, here we go. So, gateway game, Kickstarter edition with metal coins. I think the lightweight nature of this game is probably restricting its appeal. And in general, it's kind of a smaller game too. That maybe was, I don't know what the price in Kickstarter was, but it couldn't have been too expensive. So this one's probably not gonna go too high up the list, although it does look like a solid performer in the lightweight genre. So that the Lions of Lydia. Number 4 is Red Rising. So this continues to do pretty decent, about the same as Lions of Lydia, although it comes with the Stonemaier games, along with the Red Rising, which I guess is a popular series of books. I haven't read it. I didn't actually know anything about it till the board game came out, but there's probably followers of that are picking this game up. And I think my understanding is it's based kind of on the system of Fantasy Realms with some tweaks and improvements and this theme. So I'm interested to try it out, and I always tend to like Stonemaier games, so we'll see. And I'm interested to see how it does. I mean, it's gotten, I guess, decent ratings, some as high as 8 for average, so it could continue to climb, and it does only have 1,000 ratings, so we'll see. I think this is going to go into the top 250, like most Stonemaier games, at least make it there. Top 100 might be pushing it. That is, it does require quite a number of sales of a game to get there. So that is number 4, Red Rising. Number 3, Railroad Ink Challenge Lush Green Edition. So this is interesting. So this is a essentially second edition or improvement of Railroad Ink. Now let's look at this. So this is, that's kind of cool. So is this like a bigger version of Railroad Ink? Kind of looks like it, right? Or is it the same small box? Lush green and all versions in one box. Oh, so this is one person has organized into a single box. Okay, here it is. Different versions of it. Railroad Ink Challenge Storage Box top layer. So I guess you could get all these different versions of Railroad Ink. And then this is Challenge Giant Board. So I guess you're playing the same Railroad Ink on a bigger board with more stuff. Wow. I had a hard time drawing. I'm not the best at drawing things. I had a hard time drawing on the original version. That's why I traded it away. I just didn't see me playing it a lot, but this looks cool. I think this is going to take a game that a lot of people already liked, and it's got a really low price point to get into it, only $20. I think this is going to do pretty well. Railroad Ink was a fun game for sure. I think for me, if I'm playing a roll and write, I'd rather do like Welcome to or Cartographers. So it's number 3, Railroad Ink Challenge. Probably not a top 100 contender just because of its lightweight nature, but you never know. This stuff like this can surprise you. Number 2, Hadrian's Wall. So we saw this, I think, last week as well. This one is doing phenomenal on the list. I'm interested to see, how it continues to move up. I do think this has a strong possibility of hitting the top 100, assuming it continues to do this well. I mean, this is phenomenal opening performance for the game. It needs to hold this up though for about 6 months to hit the top 100 nowadays. So that's Hadrian's Wall, number 2. And number 1 is Company of Heroes. So we saw this one briefly appear, must have been a month ago when it first came out. And this game is just storming up with really strong ratings. I mean, 9.4 average is really unheard of. Even for first backers of Kickstarter games that, I know this has a big following from the video game, and that seems to be a new trend, is to translate video games into board games. You pick up all the video game followers, and you pick up board game followers as well in that. These minis look amazing. I think if you were into Company of Heroes, it's going to be amazing game. And let's look at some of these comments, though. A lot of people. Real-time strategy. Wow. So I wonder if this is with plethora of oh yeah, how many Kickstarters with a brush of fresh air. I'm in fact jaded by these types of games, so I never have probably even opened it if I didn't read some initial reviews, which is sad because one point in my 20s I played between 4 to 6 hours of Company of Heroes per day. Wow. So people, I guess board game people have played Company of Heroes, outstanding quality, very good strategy, solid AI, fun game, very cool managers, great plays. This looks like a really amazing game, actually. It kind of, I can't even believe I didn't know about this coming to Kickstarter. Somehow I must have missed it. But I mean, look at this thing. It's got all these little minis. I think if you were a big fan of Company of Heroes and you wanted to play, I mean, it's got this cool church. I'm really hoping Assassin's Creed turns out this well in terms of the miniatures and ratings and gameplay. Because I did back that one. This person's already done like stuff on their tanks, and I think there's a big following of like. To me, this I haven't played the game, but it seems kind of like a Memoir 44-ish style game. And I'm interested how they bring like a real-time strategy to life in a board game, because let's see if they have your dice. And maybe it's still turn-based with dice and stuff. And of course, people are selling it for way overpriced. But I think if this one has enough, I guess, enough copies available, they probably are going to be in the top 100 for sure. I think this is looking very promising. It's hard to gauge for sure, but just having this high of ratings in its early deliveries, I think is a really good sign for a game to propel its way into the top 100, assuming it gets enough copies. So there you have it. That is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 4/28/2021. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.